Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining, and if you're new, you're welcome. In this video we are designing this dashboard from scratch. This is an employee performance analytics dashboard, and it has 3 pages: from the overview page, the performance page, the outcome page. This particular dashboard was a challenge for the FP20 Analytics Challenge 30, of which I won with this dashboard. This is the certification I got, where they recognized my exceptional performance, telling me that I won the challenge. If you want to join the challenge, you can find them on LinkedIn at FP20 Analytics. Let's move right into our dashboard and the interactiveness. First, if you notice, the wireframes or the background I use for this dashboard designed that on Microsoft PowerPoint, interactive links and images and icons. We also have this very beautiful bookmarks control, and when I click on this info button, it tells me what this dashboard is about, what I need to learn about this dashboard. Closing it by clicking on explore report brings me back to the page, and I have the opportunity or the option to filter for the kind of employment type, education level that I want to work with. So stay tuned on this channel. We would build our wireframes on PowerPoint. This is a blank PowerPoint presentation. The first thing we are going to do is open the drop down for layout and make sure that it is a blank page on PowerPoint. Make sure that it is a blank page, and we are using a normal custom size page canvas setting on our Power BI like I showed you now, which is height for 720, width for 1. Would click on the side slide and
280.
open the drop down. You can see that it is automatically showing as 16:9, but you can also click on custom size to confirm if the width that we want is the width that PowerPoint is showing us. So as you can see, the width and the height are not the same as what we have on our PowerPoint presentation, even though it is showing as 16:9, right? So we'll go back to our Power BI and check for the height. The height is 720 px. So here it is showing as centimeter. It should be 7.20 centimeter. For our height, it's meant to be 1280. So we are going to work with 12.80 centimeter. That's the actual length. The width is meant to be 12.80 centimeter, while the height 7.20 centimeter. So you might also make the same mistake of using the width as the height and the height as the width, because on Power BI you would see the height first before the width. So you have to be very, very careful to not make the same mistake. You have the option to maximize the size of your content or scale down to ensure it fits. So you can click on ensure fit so that it fits in the way, exactly the way we want it to be. This particular size we have worked with is what we are going to have when we import our wireframe into Power BI. So the first thing is we are changing the background color from white to blue, which is blue gradient fill. We are going to select the option of gradient fill. You can see automatically it has given you a color, but you would change the colors here because we do not want that particular blue. We want this one, and make sure that we change the direction of our gradient fill, this one. Then we can go ahead to insert in our shape. So the first shape we are inserting is a rectangle. For our title and slicer, we do not want the color to be blue, we want the color to be white. So first of all, we'll change the outline to no outline, then the shape fill should be white. In case you do not want to go through the stress of building a wireframe from scratch, you can download the wireframes I'm adding in the description box and use it for the background of your own dashboard. But I also want to teach you how to build it on your own. Would add another rectangle shape, draw something, and make our width 3.00 centimeter. This height is very, very okay. So we would change the shape fill and turn off the outline we do not want outline for this particular work, so we would copy this and paste twice. The reason why I'm pasting twice is because we have three backgrounds for our the first set of visuals. We have one, two, three backgrounds. So I'm pasting it twice so that we have the same. You don't have to go through the same stress of changing size and color fill three times. We also had something very small on the side to get something that we can use for our sliders. Look at this, we drag it so it is not so much. So we'll paste again and drag down. This time around, we want something that would go all the way. Drag this down to make sure that there is enough spacing, and then copy this one and paste it. This way, we have a very useful wireframe for our dashboard, and we are good to go. Go back to File and open this export. Then click on selecting PNG for this particular page. Go back to Power BI, start a new dashboard entirely.
Under new, click on blank report, just in case you're wondering how I got to the page.
I already saved this as employee performance dashboard. So first we are going to import our data into this dashboard. I'll click on Excel workbook because what we are importing is an Excel file, and I would also add the link to the data set in the description box. This is data set for the challenge.
You can either double click or click on open.
After we have imported our data set, we have to click on the sheets that we need for this our analysis, and the only data we do not need here is the data dictionary. This is a Power BI dashboard challenge, so the data set is pre-processed. And most times when I do Power BI tutorial videos, I use pre-processed data because we are not cleaning, we are just trying to learn how to build our dashboard. Click on load and let our data set load. Our query is already trying to detect automatic relationships between the tables. Under Canvas background, click on Browse, then click on Employee Performance BG1 and open. By default, the transparency will be on 100, so you have to reduce the transparency to 0. So we'll change the image fit from fit to fill, and we are ready for our analysis. So the first thing we are adding for this dashboard is our title. Under the Home ribbon and select text box. Reduce the text box to fit into what will be our wireframe. Instead of typing in, you would enable title instead.
We can type
Our title.
employee performance analysis, then change the font from DRN to Sego UI and increase the font so it is visible to everyone that sees it.
From 14 to 20. Under subtitle, would enable subtitle and type in the page name as our subtitle.
The page name for page 1 is employee overview. Next, we can try to fix the colors. So let's try color blue.
Or let's use color black.
We're going to make sure that we increase the font 10 to 11 or 12. Remember that there is an icon coming before that title, so you have to create the space. We'll go back to our title and select the title option. We are changing the color because I particularly want all the titles in this analysis to not have the black color. I want a grayish color for all the titles.
We have our title already, so we'll move right into icons and then page navigation. So for icons,
The first icon we're adding is the Zoom chat logo, and I would add it under the resources in the description box so you can have access to download. Then go to insert and click on image. You're meant to click on browse to select the image you're inserting, which means that you should have already downloaded the icons from the link in the description box. We are also going to change the image fit from fit to fill.
then reduce the size so that it fits the top left corner for our dashboard. So under properties, we can increase the height to 50 and leave it that way. Then we can also drag and go back to image and enable the action. So this way I'm trying to embed the link to Zoom chat. So I'll enable web URL, and under this web URL, if I have access to the Zoom chat link, I'm just going to copy the link to the website.
So we're going to add the Zoom chat link in the web URL space and create a tooltip. So whenever somebody hovers on that image, it shows them what you're trying to achieve.
Next up, we are moving to page navigation. Under insert, we'll click on buttons, and under navigators, we'll select page navigator. So this would be dragged towards the middle of our page, and we're going to enlarge it because we are using 3 pages for this dashboard. So we're going to make sure that the grid layout is horizontal or grid, because if we use vertical, it's going to affect us when we duplicate the pages. So under style, for default, we are just going to increase the font to 12 and the fill color to blue. So the color code we are using for this dashboard, we are using blue, but if you watch my videos very well, you know that I usually emphasize on color code. So we are using 44708D. And also, if you would like to know where to get your color code from, you can go to skin.com. I'll put the link on the screen. So we're changing the field, the default field to blue, and we're turning off border because we do not need that. So for selected, we want a darker shade of blue. We click on more colors and change this to 233667. That's the color code we want for selected pages. So if I duplicate this page and then duplicate it again, so this one should be employees, and then this should be performance. I'm going to be splitting this video into 3 parts. I have to duplicate our page navigator still needs some help. So under style, our selected is perfectly okay. Then go back to default. And under default, we want a white font color so that it is as visible as the selected page. And for over to this one, this particular color, you see that if I over around, it is showing white. So I'm going to change the fill color for over to blue so that even when I over it, it is the same, right? I'll go back to selected and increase the font size to 12. So we fix our page navigation for this page. The only thing I need to do now is to make sure that it is aligned properly. Just move it around. Next, we are moving to the icons for info button. Under buttons, we would select the icon for help, which is meant to be our bookmark icon, like I said earlier. So we drag it towards the other end of our dashboard, just right beside the page navigation. Make sure we increase the size, and under style, under button, we do not need text, or we just need to make sure that the icon color is matching the dark blue feature that we concluded on, and then we would increase the width from 3px to 4px. If you notice, you see that the icon is not in the middle, so we click on the alignment to be in the middle, then try to reduce the size of the box a little bit, drag towards the end, and on that action, we are going to enable the action, and when we get to the point where we're adding bookmarks, we save it as bookmarks, and when we add the bookmark at the end of our page, after we've added all our visuals, we can now select the bookmark that we are trying to add. But then you can also just include tooltip and click on information on overview page. So whenever I hover around it, you see this information on overview page as a tooltip. That's the purpose of the tooltip. So we'll come back to that help button when we are done with our visuals. We're going to add another
To
icon.
clear all slicers, we are going to select clear all slicers icon under buttons, then drag towards the top right corner of the dashboard and disable the text. We are going to enable icons also. Then under the drop down, we are going to open it and change it from clear all slicers to custom.
Then to give us the option to
Select
find the icon that we want, and I click on open, and it's going to give me the reset icon that I selected. So I can easily arrange it and drag so that they are not overlapping each other. As you can see, there is borders, so we're going to turn off borders. And then for tooltip, just make sure that tooltip is clear or slicers. Tooltips are very important because it helps your stakeholders, whoever is visiting your dashboard, to get context. So the last part on this line is our LinkedIn, my LinkedIn profile. So I'll click on image, drag to the edge, try to fit it in just to reduce the work whenever I insert the image. Then under icon, under style, I'm going to open the image drop down and browse the image I want to use. So like the way I did it the first time, I'll just type in LinkedIn because I saved those files with their names. So this is the LinkedIn icon. Then scroll down to action, open the drop down, and instead of the action set to be back, fill the web URL. I'll copy the link to my LinkedIn profile here. This is the link to my LinkedIn profile. Then under tooltip, I would add connect with me on LinkedIn. Right, smart. I don't on LinkedIn. It's passing the message. But so we're done with the title. We can now move to our cards. So this is the part where we write our DAX measures. We have to create a new table. So click on enter data to create a new table for our measures so that we can group them separately. Column 1, the way it is, but under the name of the table, instead of table, we're going to type all DAX and measures basically. So we'll just load it and it will automatically help us create a table for our measures, which means that there is a column that is empty to prove that that is a table. But we can now add our measures into that table. So but as soon as it creates the table, open the drop down and you can see the column 1 that was empty initially. You don't have to delete it, just leave it the way it is. So under more options, you click on new measure. So that way we can start writing in our measures. The first measure we're writing is total employees. So type in total employees and then function to count the rows of the employee table. So we'll just scroll down to the employees table and close the bracket. That way we've gotten our head count for the employees.
Next up, we're trying to get the current and exited employees. If you look at the data for employees, you're going to notice that the only data they provided for the exited employees are the columns for exit date, which means that for employees that are still present, their exit date is empty, while the employees that left the company have their exit date. So the next DAX we are writing, we are using the exit date. Go back to report view and under the table for all DAX, select new measure.
So and name it current or current employees. So I'm using the number format because I'm still going to put the percentage current and so on and so forth. So I don't want to be confused. Current employees is equal to, so we're going to count blank values of the column for the exit date because that's like the only way you can get the current employees.
You can go back to the table view to confirm what I am trying to do. If you're confused or if you're still here with me, click on the mark button beside the X button to commit your formula.
You can click on new measure again,
So add the percentage of current employees.
type in percentage current. This is a simple measure. We're just trying to calculate current employees over total employees. So we can use this one, the description as one. So the first step for the current employees was 0. which is for current employees. Then the second is percentage current. So this one will be one. Then the next step will be our dynamic text, which click on new measure again. We're using this as our measure title, just for context and for reusability. So anybody that wants to reuse this dashboard understands what I did. Right. So we're going to declare a variable. We can name it current percentage. If you notice I changed the name, we can just name it current, or we can just name it current, and then is equal to, then we will now type in our percentage current. That's what we are trying to build this indicator for, right? So open the bracket, this normal bracket, and select percentage current. So that will declare our variable. We can now type in return. This is to return the variable at the end. We want to use the switch function to switch to, we use the if functions on Excel. That's how we are going to use the switch functions for this particular task. So the expression will be true. So if true, replace with what I'm trying to replace it with. Case it is blank value. Value that we declared a variable for. Don't forget it is current. So if it is blank, then we do not want anything. So we can just leave it like this. Then we'll move to our next value. If it is less than 0.5%, then lower triangle indicator. Just pay attention. You can play this video in 0.5 speed so that you would get what I'm trying to achieve. The current tax is less than 50%, then you need to do something about it, right? So we're going to type in uniture function. This function is what gives us icon. So we'll use 9660 and close it. We're not done. And that way it's showing that whenever it is less than 0.5%, it should give us downward triangle and the value that we are looking for.
So lastly, we are trying to
Describe our positive value, which is active or current employees that are above 50%. So we'll click on comma again and type in current, which is our variable, and greater than 0.5. Then we use the uniture function and use 9650. So 9650 is the function for upward pointing triangle, and use the and function to add our current value, right? So we can now close our brackets and apply the function.
Thanks for watching to this point. I'll see you in my next lesson. Please like, comment, and turn on the notification bell. Bye.